That's what happens when you make art. You can't put a time limit on it.
You can't rush art.
Yeah,
you can't.
That's
it's
right.
just no way about it.
Yeah, and it's I've got a story about that because I used to know a guy named Art, and you couldn't rush that guy.
Ninja D. Ninja D. Ninja D.
Hi guys, welcome to Ninja D. In this episode, I will be doing my very first interview, and lucky me because I get to interview a very good friend of mine and someone who I've worked with on many projects, Mr. Clayton Guiltner. Clayton Guiltner has his own production company called Guiltner Creative Productions. I know firsthand because I've worked with him. We worked on Finding Miles together, and we're still on Amazon streaming. But now, Clayton has a new project in the works. It's a film, and it is called Something's Private. So I wanted to get to the bottom of this and see what's happening with the film. So Clayton, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Darren. I really appreciate you having me.
So first of all, tell our audience what Something's Private is about. So what can we expect from this film?
Yeah, well, it's a mystery, and it's based on the style of a Twilight Zone kind of feel.
Oh, okay.
And I was really inspired by the Twilight Zone. I grew up watching the old black and whites. Did you watch the old black and white?
Yeah, I did.
So I started watching those maybe about a year ago, on Netflix or wherever they're streaming, and I watched several of those episodes, and I just really love the storytelling behind those old 1960s Twilight Zones.
Yeah.
You can't get away with telling stories like that anymore because I think our generations now are so we just want to be spoon-fed,
Right.
So I wanted to make a project that was kind of in the vein of the Twilight Zone, and I wanted the audience to have to think and maybe not have all the answers at the end of the story. And
I think it's more interesting that way anyway.
Yeah, and maybe they have to decide for themselves what is really going on, So that's really the crux of where this comes from and what's going on in the story. The story itself is a story about a young man who has lost people in his life. People are dying around him, and there's some mystery to that scenario. And so throughout the film, we get to realize more about why that may be happening, and he's discovering why that may be happening. And I won't give the film away, of course.
Oh, of course not.
That's a little bit of the plot line, I guess you could say.
Oh, cool. It sounds exciting. It sounds intriguing. It sounds like something that's very suspenseful.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about the script writing process and what that was like?
Yeah, well, writing a script, you do several drafts, and one of the things that was really helpful was actually having you involved because you're one of my good friends and a great colleague. And of course, we've worked together on so many projects, and we share ideas a lot. And so it was really great because I was able to call you up and say, "Hey, I wrote this crazy script. Would you mind reading it?" When you read the script, which was a while back, that was one of my first drafts, and it's really hard to let someone else read your first draft because you're nervous and anxious about being vulnerable as an artist and a writer. But anyway, you gave me great notes, and I took all your notes and notes of some others later that I got, and the script that we ended up with was, of course, a lot different, I think, than the one you originally read. But it's just really cool to have colleagues like Darren in LA here and all across the country, who are colleagues of writers and actors and directors and people who we all work together as a family, really, and that's what makes it so rewarding to do this kind of work, really. So the writing process for me in that aspect was a lot of fun because I had great people like you.
Well, thank you.
Thank
you, Clay. I really enjoyed reading it and giving you feedback, and I'm glad you got a lot out of it, and I can't wait to see the final product.
Yeah.
Speaking of the final product, we actually have a clip from the final product on our hands. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to cut to a clip of Something's Private. And here it is.
I went to the shrink for what we talked about.
And?
You're right. I'm just crazy.
I want you to kiss me.
What?
The shrink said nothing's wrong with you. You're just crazy. I want you to kiss me. See? I'm still alive.
Wow. Oh my God, that was pretty intense. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
That was
Thank you.
not so private. No, I'm just kidding. No, it was great. I really enjoyed that, and I hope you guys enjoyed that as well. Once again, that's coming in the spring, so you get ready for that.
Yeah, and we do have a surprise, actually, that I will spring onto your audience. Mr. Ninja Darren actually makes a surprise appearance in this film.
I do.
And I won't say anything else about what that appearance is, and it will be up to you to figure out where and when that appearance transpires.
Can you spot the ninja in the film?
Can you?
Can
Yes,
you?
That's the question.
Can you?
So,
Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in to Ninja D on this episode. I'm really happy that my first interview was with Mr. Clayton Guiltner. Please stay tuned this spring on Amazon and Amazon Prime for Some Things Private. It's going to be great. I've had the pleasure of getting bits and pieces of it, and I'm really looking forward to its launch. So
Thanks, Darren.
thanks for being on the channel.
thank you
Clay.
so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just want to not do anything again. So you...
Ninja D!